And they need to know that their voice will be heard, but you got to show up, right? You can't let the watered down voice override yours. And if you don't show up, there's only so many seats at the table. Anybody can take the seat, but if you don't come, someone else is going to sit there.
And who are those people that show up when the citizens don't, when the Drew Roaches of the world don't roll in and play? Who's there?
The moderate.
That's kind of you.
The moderate sits there, right? The watered down individual that blows with the wind sits there and takes the spot, right? We need to have men and women that have convictions, that have principles, that don't give a shit about getting reelected, right? To get up, get involved, that are willing to hold their state representatives, their state senators accountable. Right? When I ran and I campaigned, I put my personal cell phone number and my home address on all my campaign signs. Got nothing to hide. I want to be the most transparent, accessible candidate ever.
Because you represent your neighbors.
I'm not afraid to let people know where I'm at, right? I met them where they were at, knocked on their doors, had conversations. I didn't say, hey, what do you want from me, and try to hear from them. I flat out let them know who I was. When I got involved, as you were saying with the caucus, I made thousands of phone calls, thousands, knocked on hundreds of doors pre-caucus, motivating, connecting, building relationships with individuals in my community to express to them what a caucus was and how they can get involved. And why it's important.
Whoa. Hold the phone. Stop for a second. Are you saying, did I understand this correctly, that before caucus in 2024, you made thousands of calls urging people to go to caucus? Is that?
Thousands.
Whoa. Dan Schultz is going to be, you're going to be on his wall of fame, not the wall of shame. The wall of shame is filled with people that grift and that BS and that opine, and they're not even in the party. See, now, if we had, in Minnesota, for example, if we had 50 people like Drew, this state would change in one election cycle.
Absolutely.
50. And if you're willing to be one of those people, you come Friday night to the X Spaces, 8 p.m. Central Time. You find me at support@tigerget.com. We're going to aggregate these people. I'm just looking for the Spartans, man. We just want the 300. If we get the 300, that's all. Got to start somewhere. Because you know how it's been for me now that we hooked up? You know what it felt like to me? 2 men in a truck. That's what it felt like. Sure.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why the left is so powerful is because they've got a small entity, right, within the body. And I'm talking about in state politics now. They've got a small group that controls the entire body of the left. They have what they call the queer caucus. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, if you're an adult and whatever you want to do, you're a man, you want to be a woman, by all means, have at it. The most beautiful gift we have on earth is free will. You want to be a freak show? Be a freak show. I don't really care. You have that right to be. What I don't like is when that gets put into my kids' education in my school system.
Weaponized and politicized.
So to sit here and say that conservatives or Republicans, are anti-trans or are transphobic, no, that's not it. We just don't want you trying to teach our kids that my daughter can be a boy and my son can be a girl. That's nonsense. That's lunacy, right? As an adult, if you want to live that life, by all means, more power to you. But we have an entity, a group in the state legislature, which is a small minority of people that have strong convictions and principles, and they've identified themselves as the queer caucus.
Is that Lee Finke, the leader of that?
Lee Finke, and they are, he has created
he's not going to like that.
I don't care.
Okay.
You can live a lie. I'm not living that lie for you.
Okay. Get down, Drew.
And that body has registered with the state. They've identified themselves as the queer caucus. And because they have trifecta control, they have been able to leverage their ideas, their ideologies, their convictions, and manipulate the entire state legislature. And that's why we have the extremism that we have in Minnesota politics. And then they like to gaslight and call out the mega base, the alt-right or the far right in Minnesota politics. And again, make us seem like we're the extremist party. We are not. There's only one area of Minnesota politics that's extreme, and it's that queer caucus. So one of the things that I went about telling people when I went out and knocked on doors is, you know about the queer caucus? Do you realize that there is a far left extremist ideology in Minnesota that is controlling the entire body of the state legislature? So the power of that small minority, we have the ability to have the power of a small minority too. We just need to be strong.